estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. Everybody knows him now as the man with the plan, I think. Are you the man with the plan back there?
Sure.
There's his plan today, right? Yeah, great. Oh, yeah. We're the real estate marketing maniacs here at Security Title Studios. We have a fantastic guest with us today, and that's Shannon Gillette with the Gillette Group at Launch Real Estate. Thanks for coming in, Shannon.
Thank you for having me.
You excited?
Yeah.
Pumped up, ready to go?
Yeah.
That long drive in.
Yes, from Queen Creek.
Absolutely. Well, why don't we get started with you letting the agents know how long you've been in business and what got you into real estate?
Yeah, so I've been in real estate most of my adult life. I sold my first home when I was 22. I started my career in new home sales, for about 8 years. I was selling new homes exclusively with Pulte Homes.
Okay.
And then I got married, started to have a family, and those new home hours just were getting a little crazy, every holiday, every weekend, get home super late every night. So I made the transition into resale in 2014.
Okay. So the new home sales were mostly, when did you start there?
2006.
2006. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they were still pretty on fire back then.
Well,
was that right when it was starting to
come down? So
okay.
It was actually a benefit for me. So when I started in new home sales, a lot of my coworkers just got out of that craziness where people were lining up out the door. They were camping out to get a lot.
Yeah.
I came in all eager to sell homes, ready to work hard. So my first full year in new home sales, I was one of the top new home sales consultants in the country because
awesome.
I didn't, we were in the recession. I didn't let that negativity get to me. I just wanted to work hard and sell homes. And thankfully, I sold in actually Florence, Arizona. So we had a lot of first-time buyers,
right.
And they weren't affected by losing their home and all of that stuff. So It worked out really good.
All right, wow. And then also since then, top 40 under 40 too.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Right?
Through Sevrar, the Southeast Valley. The past 2 years, I've been one of the top 40 under 40 agents.
That's great. That's awesome. Now you mentioned something at the beginning. That your business is almost exclusively referral business, like a 98 percentile range.
Yeah, so
to me, that just sounds like, how does somebody get to that point? Right.
Yeah. So it's really cool. I really operate a business of just providing an amazing experience. I've only ever received 5-star reviews for my clients, so I want to give it my all. I pride myself in my response time. I mean, if someone texts me with a question, even at 10 o'clock at night, I'll respond super quick and provide a great experience. And therefore, I do that, and then they refer their friends and family and coworkers to me. I'm also really into just being in community. So, for example, being a mom, I have 3 young boys, so I'm in a mom's group. I always have been. So it helps me just meet other people, develop relationships, and I never ask for a referral, but obviously as you get to know more people, if they need to buy or sell a home, hopefully you'd be top of mind.
Yeah, there you
go. So what I do is I don't necessarily pay for any leads, but I like to really use my personal Facebook page and Instagram to remind all of my friends, family, Facebook friends that I am in real estate. So I do that by focusing a lot on video. So obviously I do a lot of video with my listings, but also even just client testimonials. If you're at the closing table to get your phone out and say, hey, instead of writing down a review, do you mind if I record a video of you, just ask a few questions how your experience was. And I think that's super impactful to implement that in your business because video is huge and just people trust a video more, right? Like if I'm on Amazon looking at something, obviously I'm going to look at reviews. But if people posted a picture or a video of their product, like it helps me so much more of, going with that certain thing.
Got it.
So.
But as soon as you mentioned like mom's group with all kids, I was thinking of this agent that I remember watching a different podcast or listening to a different podcast, and she was talking about how she does like a Saturday. I don't know if it's once a month or what, but that she hires a babysitter, and then all the moms bring their kids, and then the moms hang out, and they call it Mamas and Mimosas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
And she says that she still gets people calling, hey, you're the Mamas and Mimosas agent, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And they're like, well, we need to list our house. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
no,
simple,
it's all
right?
about being in community. So you have to, as an agent, what stage of life are you in? Like, what do you enjoy doing? Like, instead of sitting there at your desk trying to get leads and randomly call people or calling expires. Why not do something fun? Like, say you play tennis, start a tennis club. I'm really into a mom community. I think it's super important, especially if you have young kids. You can't just be isolated. It's very easy, to not be in that community, but to go out. We meet every Wednesday morning. It's through my church, so we have over 100 moms there. And we do play dates, we meet together, and it's 2 hours every Wednesday morning. I'm out, like, getting a break from crazy real estate, which is 24/7, right? So it's healthy for me to get that break. And then also you meet people. So just staying involved. And I think I sold 15 homes last year from moms I met at Moms Group. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Cool.
So how do you keep in front? So you've got a kind of a large sphere of influence at this point. So how do you, what do you do to stay in front of all these past clients and just friends? Besides Facebook, I know you do a lot of stuff with Facebook, but do you have like something you send out on a regular basis, or you call them so often, or what?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say really what I try to just be different. So I think even just getting those videos in front of people. So, I mean, you can target market people by their email addresses. And so I guess I'm still using social media and different things just to stay in front of people. But, I mean, I'm definitely looking to implement more things. I know some agents are awesome at those pop buys and things like that. It's not something I've done, but there's definitely a lot of cool things out there.
Okay. Let's elaborate a little bit more on your video stuff, like what you have done and kind of what you see yourself doing going forward.
Yeah, so it's been really cool to see the success with this. What I found is, as realtors, if you were to list a home, and I found this in new home sales. So I was selling new homes for 8 years. My license was with the builder. I could only sell new homes, and these people buyers would come in and they'd have a home to sell, wanted to buy one of my new homes. So they'd hire an agent, and I started to see a trend where the agents meant really well. They felt like buyers were out there. They'll find the home. So they would put a sign in the yard, take some nice photos, put the home in MLS, and wait for the buyers to find the home. But in reality, as agents, we can look and see how many people have seen your home in the MLS. So, for example, I took over a listing that had been on the market for several months, no offers. I took it over. I launched my whole video marketing campaign, which I do on all my listings. Currently, if I were to pull it up right now, it had maybe 400 to 500 views in MLS. So those are buyers that saw it on their own.
Sure.
I have a professional videographer that comes out. We do a full video commercial, and we had over 41,000 views on video. We had multiple offers, sold for over list price. It was amazing just to see because, for example, I sell homes in Queen Creek. So some people think Queen Creek's super far. So if you're a buyer and say you live in California, you may have not heard of Queen Creek, so your search on Zillow or with your realtor is Gilbert Homes. So my goal as a listing agent is to get my listing in front of those people that might not be looking for Queen Creek homes, and I can educate them how amazing Queen Creek is and this home, and we're reaching anywhere from 10 to 45,000 people within a few weeks with our videos.
Wow. So once you have the video ready, are you putting it at certain places, or where do you syndicate it out to? Yeah,
so we'll usually list our homes midweek just to start that video marketing to get ready for weekend showings. So I will utilize YouTube. So people have come up to me, they're like, I see your video everywhere. I'm watching a YouTube video and your commercial of this home popped up before, or people have said, like, I was playing a game on Facebook, and apparently there's commercials when you're playing those games, and your video ad pops up, and if it's under a minute, then you can get on Instagram too. So sometimes I'll have a few different videos of one listing, and I make them very professional. That's my branding, is just professional videos. I've got a great videographer that helps me with that. So your online presence is huge, just because that's going to be your first showing, right? And finding those buyers and getting your listing in front of them, because it's easy. I think we're in a seller's market to just rely on buyers finding your listing, but
well, I can see that it's also going to lead to more listings.
Yeah. So I had
people will see what you're doing, and see what others are not. Right?
Yeah, and I consider, like, with my referral base, sometimes those are obviously current listings too of sellers referring me business. So I had a listing A few weeks ago, we implemented this whole plan. The average home was taking about 30 days to sell in this neighborhood. We launched the video marketing. We had 70 showings in 3 days, 20 offers, ended up selling for $30,000 over the last comp. Because we had so many offers, we were able to waive appraisal contingencies and all of that.
Wow.
So it's really cool to get out there, because the reality is, if you rely on the MLS, people take breaks from looking. They get frustrated. Maybe they're busy at work and they're not opening up those e-alerts. You got to get in front of the buyers.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's great. Great information. What do you think over there, video dude?
Pretty good.
All right. Another thing that you mentioned, and I know I was looking at this on your website, is you're giving back. So why don't you tell us how important that is to you and your business?
Yeah, so I think in real estate, it's super easy to just get completely overwhelmed and burnt out, because it's every day. I mean, it's holidays. It's you go on a beach vacation with your family. I'm on my laptop in the corner typing up counter offers and things like that. So it's easy to get burnt out. So you have to find some things you're passionate in. I love giving back to the community. My husband and I started our own nonprofit last year called A Purpose Project. So we work with the homeless community downtown. And I think it's really important, because you have to have a passion for people in real estate. And I tell my clients, if you're interviewing other agents, one of the first questions you should ask them is, how do you give back to the community? How do you volunteer your time? Not just writing checks for tax write-offs, but how are you giving your time out there serving within your community? And if they don't, that might tell you a little bit about your potential realtor, I think, because you have to have a passion for people. You have to care about people. It's a huge, huge investment, these people are making, and they're trusting you with their home. So giving back to the community is super important. Maricopa County, we have over just a crazy number of homeless people living here. I mean, one of the top in the country. There's people that are sleeping on the streets. They're out there, and we, my husband and I, and tons of volunteers, we go out and we feed them. We rent out facilities, provide them with a meal, a bag of necessities, and then we just sit down and we talk with these people, because a lot of times you just automatically assume, they're homeless, they are probably addicted to drugs and alcohol, or why don't you just go get a job? But once you talk with the homeless people, you find that they're actually great people, and maybe their ID was stolen and they can't get another one, or just different things, and showing that you care goes a long way.
No, that is great. I love that. If any agents that are watching or listening want to reach out to you directly, how would they do that? Yeah,
so my website is GilletteGroupAZ.com, and all my contact information is on there. I also have a video review page too, going back to the beginning. That's something cool that you can implement as an agent, getting out of those typed up reviews, but getting those on video.
Cool. No, that's awesome. So what if the person's like, I don't know what to say? When you say, hey, can I get a video review?
Yeah.
Do you just write it on a piece of paper and say, read this?
Oh. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's organic and authentic, asking how was your experience? Would you recommend the Gillette Group to someone looking to buy or sell? And just ask them, and comes across good. Yeah.
So one more question before we move to the next segment here. But if an agent were to come to you that's, maybe their business is slowed a little bit, what would you tell them to do? What's the number one thing that they should go do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so obviously there's the obvious things, open houses, all that fun stuff. But, I would say just go out and meet people, join a group, join a book club, do something where you're meeting people and building those relationships.
Got it. All right. So are you ready to get in the ring?
Sure.
Yeah, sure, she says. All right, here we go. What's the best advice that anyone's ever given you? Uh-oh.
What is that? Oh. Well, I would say...
I can still hear it.
Oh,
It's still going on. Anyway, go ahead.
I would say the best advice is just to maybe treat others the way you'd want to be treated, and just, even if, so as realtors, we might not like helping people find a rental, for example. Sometimes it can cost me money out of pocket to help someone find a rental, but treat others the way you want to be treated. If someone wants me to help them find a rental, I'm going to help them, and not try to only care about what's in it for me. These are people's homes, it's very important to them, and just treat everyone the same. Just because they're looking for a rental doesn't mean they should be treated different than someone looking to buy $1 million home.
Absolutely. How about your favorite mobile app?
Favorite mobile app? Well, I'd probably go back to just social media, just being engaged and, pulling up, if you have some downtime, pulling up Instagram or Facebook and just staying engaged with your family and friends on there, liking their posts, commenting, showing that you care about them.
So I know you use video. I didn't ask how about live? Do you do Facebook Live?
I actually don't very often, no.
All right. Figured I'd ask. Yeah. How about a book recommendation?
So church is super important to me. I go to a Bible-based church, Rock Point in Queen Creek.
Yep,
so
I know him. Mm-hmm.
You do, yeah. So obviously,
Pastor Bill?
Yeah, I sold his house.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So the Bible, obviously, keeping those that foundation.
Oh, that's great. How about a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis?
Yeah, so for my website, I use FirePoint. I really like it to keep up with my leads, and I love how I can kind of customize my website. So I would say FirePoint is something I would recommend.
All right, and then one final question I'll let you draw from the mask.
All right.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
Whoa!
She ripped the question.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
If you could spend a day with someone famous, dead or living, who would it be? I don't know. That's a tough one.
How about Jesus?
Jesus. Let's go.
Oh,
Jesus
there we
is always
go.
the answer in church. Who wouldn't want to spend a day with him?
That's absolutely correct. I think Joey's on the same page. Both of us are. No, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being in.
Thank you for
coming in.
having
I know Lisa
me.
Macbeth invited you in here. Crazy Lisa over at security. She's awesome. Totally awesome. But thanks again for joining us. And until next time, you guys, have a fantastic week, and try to stay cool. See you later. Good job. All right.
So where do you live?